Unit 1950 to 1990, last class of this unit, because today we have to just cover up the last topic of this unit, that is the foreign trade policy during this time period. Let me just tell you once again. First unit was Indian economy on the eve of independence. That means the British rule, the British Empire. What was the condition of Indian economy at that time when we just got the independence? So on the eve of independence, that was the first unit. The second unit, that is after independence, when we started economic planning in 1950. So from the very first 5-year plan, that is from 1951 to 1990 tak ka period, that is your second unit, which we are just about to complete. In this, we have covered 4 aspects. The very first chapter was the planning, the 5-year plans during this period. The second chapter in this unit is agriculture, the state of agriculture during 1950 to 1990. That what was the state of agriculture, what policies government adopted during this regime, or what strategies, like we have already studied agrarian reforms and also the green revolution, one of the major concern. So this is all about what we have covered in Indian economy from 1950 to 1990 in the field of agriculture. The third chapter in this unit we have covered is the industries from 1950 to 1990. Which industrial policy we adopted during 1950 to 1990? What were the steps taken by us, taken by Indian government to improvise the stage of industrial sector in our economy for these 40 years of period, where we have done that for the industries, the government started IPR, the IPR 1956, that is Indian Policy, Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. And this IPR was mainly in concern to promote the public sector undertakings so that there will be the less competition to the existing industrialists from outsider, right? Then promoting small scale industries and giving a big role, a giant role to the public sector undertaking only. And we all know that for enhancing more role to the public sector undertaking, what government did? Government did industrial licensing. The industrial licensing was done by the government. Not only the industrial licensing, सिर्फ industrial licensing नहीं, उसके अलावा और भी there were many steps taken by the Indian economy for industries during this period, right? So then we did that what is the role of public sector in Indian economy that time, and what were the problems that our public sector undertakings were facing during this 1950 to 1990. Then we have studied that Karve committee was made. Can you please tell me in which year Karve committee was made in India? Which year for the Karve committee? Very good, Akshat Anmol, 1955. Toshit, please write one more thing. What was the aim of making Karve committee? What was the aim for making Karve committee? Aim क्या था इसको बनाने का? Very good, Toshit. To promote small scale industries. Akshat also, to set up small scale industries in villages. Vaibhav, Anmol, Harshita, Anushka Bansal. Very good. They wanted to promote small scale industries in India. And we all know already the reasons why small scale industries should be promoted. If you don't know the reason, just have a look on this screen. Role of small scale industries. These all are the reasons that small scale industries must be developed in the country, because we are already having labor abundance in our economy, and when we have labor abundance, then definitely some serious steps we must take to provide employment opportunities to our laborers. Otherwise they will just be, unemployed, and it will definitely not hamper the growth of economic development. So we require to do something for the small scale industries also, right? And we have already covered that what are the main features of small scale industries. If we talk about features, or even we say that what are the importance of small scale industries, that these industries should be there, right? तो ये चीज हमने ध्यान रखनी है बिल्कुल, because this question is very very important. एग्जाम में आ सकता है वाला क्वेश्चन. Why Carver Committee was made in 1955. All right. Okay, so let's move further. तो थर्ड चैप्टर आपका इंडस्ट्रीज था. अभी इस यूनिट का लास्ट चैप्टर and even the last topic, that is foreign trade for the Indian economy 1950 to 1990. First of all, let me tell you one thing for the foreign trade. Foreign trade means the trade between two or more countries. When we are saying that India's trade with the other countries, with the other foreign countries, that is known as the foreign trade, which means when two or more countries are involved. For example, India is doing trade with America, India is doing trade with other countries, that is known as foreign trade. So if we talk about the foreign trade policy from 1950 to 1991, अगर हम foreign trade policy की बात करते हैं 1950 से 1991 में, then we simply say that that time foreign trade policy was, please note down this, import substitution strategy. Please mark this word, this is very very important, because you will be getting it in exam with this only, that is import substitution strategy. I'm just circling down, उसको एक बार please देखना, ये बहुत important है. See, import substitution strategy. Now, what does this mean, import substitution strategy? This import substitution strategy means that we had a policy, we have made an aspect, a policy that there should be more of import substitution, which means our Indian government wanted that we should not get much competition from foreign countries. Please note this, note down that in your notebook. We must not get competition from foreign countries, and to stop that competition from foreign countries, there was need for the import substitution, which means instead of making, or instead of basically buying the goods or importing the goods from other countries, we must focus on producing our goods ourselves, right? For example, if I'm talking about the automobiles, then instead of buying automobiles or importing automobiles from other countries, other foreign countries, there should be a need that we must go for producing or manufacturing the automobiles ourselves. That is called import substitution strategy, and that took place, right? So we focused upon import substitution strategy in 1950, from 1950 to 1990, mainly to control the competition from foreign industries. All right, what we did for this import substitution strategy, we basically did two things. हमने इसके लिए दो चीजें basically हमने इसके लिए की. Let's see, एक बार पढ़ते हैं जरा कौन सी दो चीजें हमने import substitution के लिए की थी. See, the very first thing which we did for the import substitution was, let me write here, that was fixation of, या fixing quotas. अब ये क्या था quota? See, fixation of quota took place in import substitution strategy. Quotas fix किए गए. Quota means the quantity was fixed. The quantity was fixed that you cannot import more than the quota fixed by the government. to stop the competition from foreign industries, there was the fixation of quotas on the foreign trade, that the quantity which could only be permitted to import from foreign countries. Otherwise, you were not free to do foreign trade with everybody. We were not free to do foreign trade with every country, and even in our हमारी मर्जी से जितना भी quantity. No, government fixed the quota that you must import only this much of quantity from the foreign country, and that was done to reduce the competition of domestic industries with the foreign industries. I hope I am clear with this point, that quotas were fixed. Not only quotas but also tariffs. Tariffs were also fixed. Tariffs means taxes. Taxes were fixed, tariff were fixed, and these tariffs were fixed in such a way that the on imports, when you are importing something, heavy tariffs were levied, heavy taxes were levied. And you know why these heavy taxes were levied on the foreign trade? So that people will not buy the goods from other countries, because they had to give more taxes on that if they are going to buy from other countries. If they are importing, they have to give more uh, more taxes. In such a way, if you are giving more taxes, which means it will become costlier, right? It will become costlier for you. And if it is costlier for you, definitely you will not be in a position to buy the commodities, to import the commodities from other countries, because you will feel like instead of importing from other, we should go for our industrial goods only, that we are going to buy the goods from our own industries only, right? So this was done in foreign trade in Indian economy from 1950 to 1990, to reduce the competition for the domestic industrialists, so that the people of India must buy the product which are already domestic product, instead of importing from others. तो उस टाइम पे हमने क्या देखा? पहली बात तो एग्रीकल्चर में हमने पढ़ा था दैट एग्रीकल्चर वाज इम्प्रूव्ड. हमारी कंट्री में एग्रीकल्चर को इम्प्रूव किया, so that more and more production should be there, है ना? So that more and more goods should be manufactured in our own economy. We should not rely upon importing the agriculture from other countries. तो हमने खुद अपने एग्रीकल्चर पे फोकस किया, रिफॉर्म्स लेकर आए, एग्रेरियन रिफॉर्म्स, ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन, वो हमने एग्रीकल्चर में पढ़ा. फिर हमने इंडस्ट्रीज पे फोकस किया. पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स को गवर्नमेंट ने ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दी इंस्टेड ऑफ प्राइवेट इंडस्ट्रीज, बिकॉज पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स गवर्नमेंट ओन्ड इंडस्ट्रीज थी, एंड गवर्नमेंट वांटेड द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ सोशल वेलफेयर विच प्राइवेट कुड नॉट, because if private industries will be there, they will definitely focus upon more and more profit earning only. And if they are going to go for more and more profit earning, they are not going to go for the social welfare. So government mainly focused upon, or government did given more importance to the public sector enterprises or public sector undertakings, PSUs, right? For that, government imposed licensing, जो हमने पढ़ा. Government imposed various regulations also, right? So that was all done, so that more and more public sector undertakings must flourish, and not private sector undertakings must be given importance, right? Then बट फायदा उससे भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. हमने पढ़ा था ना, बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स थी, तब भी इतना मैन्युफैक्चर नहीं कर पा रहे थे. गवर्नमेंट की काफी यूनिट सिक यूनिट्स में कन्वर्ट हो चुकी थी. फिर बात आई फॉरेन ट्रेड की, तो उसमें भी यही किया गवर्नमेंट ने कि बाहर से कम चीजें आए, हम लोग खुद से ज्यादा बनाए, विच मीन्स दे बेसिकली फोकस्ड अपॉन इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन स्ट्रेटेजी. इस वर्ड को ध्यान रखना है बेटा आपने. 1950 से 1990 में आपने इस वर्ड पे बिल्कुल ध्यान रखना है. यू हैव टू फोकस अपॉन दिस मेन वर्ड, import substitution strategy. Import substitution strategy का मतलब यहाँ पे क्या है? Import substitution strategy means that you must, government practiced the import substitution, that instead of buying the goods from or importing the goods from outsiders, we must produce our goods by our own. So what was in this strategy? Let me tell you once again. Better, this is also called inward looking trade strategy. Please note down the word. Import substitution strategy is also known as inward looking trade strategy. It is also known as inward looking trade strategy. So when we have to explain that what is it, so we simply say that this policy was basically based on the criteria that industries of developing countries are not in a position to compete against the goods produced by more developed economies, because we were not in a position to compete with the goods of developed nations, right? So we thought of using this strategy, that it is assumed that if the domestic industries are protected, they will learn to compete in the course of time. यही एज्यूम किया गया था कि अगर हम कुछ टाइम के लिए फॉरेन इंडस्ट्रीज पे रेगुलेशंस लगा दें, फॉरेन इंडस्ट्रीज के गुड्स को इंडिया में लाने के लिए रेगुलेशंस लगा दें, उनको स्टॉप कर दें, कोटा फिक्स कर दें, बाय द टाइम जो हमारी डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, दीज इंडस्ट्रीज विल डेफिनेटली लर्न, वो इंडस्ट्रीज लर्न करेंगी दैट हाउ दे हैव टू वर्क, and these industries will learn that how they can compete with the other goods and how they have to work. So our planners also feared the possibility of foreign exchange being spent on import of luxury goods if no restrictions were placed on imports. और हमें ये भी था प्लानिंग के अंदर, उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी अगर हमने बाहर से गुड्स को इंपोर्ट करने में रिस्ट्रिक्शन ना लगाई तो लोग क्या करेंगे, वो अपनी डिमांड बढ़ाते रहेंगे, इंपोर्ट करते रहेंगे और काफी सारा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज हमें बाहर देना पड़ जाएगा, जिससे हमारे पास रुपीस की वैल्यू डाउन होती रहेगी। जिसके लिए व्हाट द पीपल डिड, दे इम्पोज्ड टू मेजर थिंग्स। कौन कौन सी? टैरिफ्स एंड कोटाज। टैरिफ्स मींस द टैक्स ऑन इंपोर्टेड गुड्स, they make imported goods more expensive and discourage their use. But when I talk about the quota means specify the quantity of goods which can be imported. So quota का यहाँ पे मतलब है the goods which can be imported, उसको specify करना। I hope I am clear with this. यहाँ तक सबको clear है? इसमें एक एग्जांपल आपको देता हूं। फॉर एग्जांपल, इंस्टेड ऑफ इंपोर्टिंग व्हीकल्स मेड इन अ फॉरेन कंट्री, इंडस्ट्रीज वुड बी एनकरेज्ड टू प्रोड्यूस देम इन इंडिया इटसेल्फ। आत्मनिर्भर भारत, जिस पे हम दोबारा से फोकस कर रहे हैं, ये आज की नहीं, ये तो पहले की ही स्ट्रेटेजी है जो 1950 से चली आ रही है। लेकिन आपको एक मेजर डिफरेंस बताता हूं स्ट्रेटेजी के अंदर, उस टाइम की स्ट्रेटेजी में और इस टाइम की स्ट्रेटेजी में क्या मेजर डिफरेंस सामने आता है। देखो, उस टाइम पे जो स्ट्रेटेजी थी उसका नाम था इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन स्ट्रेटेजी। आप देख रहे हो स्क्रीन पे अपनी, इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन स्ट्रेटेजी, ये था उस टाइम की स्ट्रेटेजी का बड़ा नाम, इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन स्ट्रेटेजी। बट व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट आज की स्ट्रेटेजी, तो आज की स्ट्रेटेजी की अगर मैं बात करूं तो आज की स्ट्रेटेजी का नाम है एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन स्ट्रेटेजी। हाँ जी बिल्कुल, एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन स्ट्रेटेजी, यानी कि जिसके अंदर डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्शन का तो आ ही गया कॉन्सेप्ट, आत्मनिर्भरता का तो कॉन्सेप्ट आ ही गया, बट ऑल्सो इतना बनाओ कि अपने लिए पूरा हो, साथ ही साथ एक्सपोर्ट भी कर पाओ, एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन, राइट? जो पहले हमने इतनी इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दी थी। वाइल इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन वाज गिवन अ लॉट ऑफ इंपॉर्टेंस, एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन वाज नॉट गिवन एनी इंपॉर्टेंस दैट टाइम, जो अब हम आज भी इंपॉर्टेंस प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं उसकी। ठीक? सो अल्टीमेटली आपने ये चीज ध्यान रखनी है, जब भी आपने फॉरेन ट्रेड पढ़ना है 1990 से पहले का, आपने प्री 1991 में यही बताना है, देयर वाज इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन स्ट्रेटजी और इनवर्ड लुकिंग ट्रेड स्ट्रेटजी वाज देयर व्हिच वाज बीइंग फॉलोड, जो फॉलो हो रही थी, इनवर्ड लुकिंग ट्रेड स्ट्रेटजी। एंड द फॉर दिस पर्पस restrictions were imposed in foreign trade policy. Two major restrictions, the restrictions like quotas and tariffs, were imposed so that there should not be much competition for the domestic industrialist from the foreign products, from the foreign industries, because we were assuming that if there will be competition, then India, an underdeveloped economy, will definitely have to compete with the developed nations, and we will face a lot of problem due to this. I hope I am clear with this foreign trade from India 1950 to 1990. Please tell me if it is clear. Just write in your chat box if this topic is clear to all. Okay. Okay, let's move further now. सो कंपोजिशन ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड, कंपोजिशन का क्या मतलब होता है? कंपोजिशन ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड मींस items of imports and exports, that is what we were importing and what we were exporting. Akshat sir, inward looking trade strategies same yes better, this is the other name only Akshat. The import substitution policy or import substitution strategy, that is the other name of inward looking trade strategy. Inward मतलब आप अपनी ही कंट्री पे फोकस कर रहे हैं इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन के लिए. सो कंपोजिशन ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड का मतलब सीधा सीधा है that what all type of goods you are importing and exporting. And what is meant by direction of foreign trade? Direction of foreign trade means with which countries you are doing the importing and exporting procedure. कौन सी countries के साथ हम लोग कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, इसका good impact क्या रहा इस strategy का? Small scale industries protecting, of course, because there would not be much competition from foreign goods. So small scale industries which were producing goods, these industries were protected. Then diversification of industrial growth. Industrial growth में diversification आया. Variety of goods were added by the industries. Now they were producing more and more number of goods. Variety of goods these industries were producing. Then increase in industrial growth along with structural transformation. No doubt industrial growth was increased and also at a very good rate. Means we observed that industries were flourishing. These industries are producing diversified products, good products. But what was the bad impact? Growth of inefficient public monopolies. पब्लिक मोनोपोलीज मींस गवर्नमेंट के अंडर जो वो थी उन्हीं की ग्रोथ ज्यादा हो रही थी, वो भी इनएफिशिएंट, मतलब इतना ज्यादा एफिशिएंसी लेवल बेटर नहीं था उसमें. एंड क्योंकि वो मोनोपोली कंट्रोल बन चुका था, सो डेफिनेटली वी हैड टू जस्ट रिलाई अपॉन दैट ओनली. आज भी देख लो रेलवे, इंडियन रेलवेज, दैट इज अ मोनोपोली. अब चाहे अच्छी हो चाहे बुरी हो, टाइम पर पहुंचाए ना पहुंचाए, जैसी भी हो, we have to manage with that only. Why? Because that is a public monopoly and that is completely owned by the state, that means government, and completely controlled by the government. There is no private sector which is basically there to control such monopoly. In that case, whether that is efficient or inefficient, we have to just work, we have to just go with the flow as per the public monopoly, because there is no other institution, there is no or other organization which is being set up and providing same variety of service or goods, right? Then bad impact, lack of competition implied lack of modernization. ये तो हर जगह पे है. It's in the studies also, student life में भी होता है. If there is no competition, which I even feel, if there is no competition, there is no growth. मान के चलना हमेशा. That is the bitter truth of a life. If there is no competition, there will be no growth, because no competition means that is a monopoly or near to monopoly. And definitely when I know I am a monopolist, no other competition is being there relied upon, then definitely I would be like lethargic or I would be like inefficient in some ways. Why? Because I know there is no competition, है ना? So ultimately competition implied lack of modernization. Anmol, abhi it's not sure that railway is going to be privatized, because that is ultimately security of the nation is also being questioned with the railway. Because अगर railway privatize हो गई, तो there can be various other aspects also जो ठीक नहीं होंगे country के लिए. तो अभी इस पे विचार चल रहा है, bill बना हुआ है government का, but I don't think that bill will be passed in parliament very easily. Let's see. Then indiscriminate use of public sector enterprises. देखिए पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस का भी इनडिस्क्रिमिनेटरी यूज हुआ है, मतलब कि एक प्रॉपर एफिशिएंसी के साथ काम नहीं हुआ उसके अंदर. इकोनॉमिकली अनअवेलेबल पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस और पॉलिटिकल कंपल्शन. ऑफ कोर्स आपको पता है जहां पे भी गवर्नमेंट का रूल आता है, पॉलिटिक्स तो वहां पे होती ही होती है. तो एक रेड टपिज्म भी बहुत ज्यादा होता है. रेड टपिज्म समझते हो ना? यानी कि जब फॉर एवरी single kind of work also you have to just take the permission of your higher authorities. It leads to delay in decision making also. Okay, बस thank you हो गया इसका. तो ये अब हमारा 1950 से 1990 तक का पीरियड बेटे ओवर हो चुका है. from 1950 to 1990. That means we have covered